Hello, I'm your host, Mary Garcia, and welcome to SPOTcast. I'm joined by my guest, Jahsua Jenkins.
Hello.
Leslie Hernandez.
Hi.
And Dustin Nguyen.
Hello.
Wet n Wild has been known and praised for its animal cruelty-free makeup policies until May 2019, when consumers discovered that they contribute to unethical practices. It has been exposed that they sell makeup in China, whose country's policies require them to test all makeup made outside of their country on animals. Even after all this controversy, they still claim themselves animal cruelty-free. As teens growing up in a society where we are pressured to use makeup, how does it make you feel that makeup companies try to hide their unethical practices? Can we trust them or any of the other options when they say they're using ethical practices? This is SPOTcast. Have you heard about the makeup brand Wet n Wild?
I have not.
I have.
I also have not.
Okay. Did you hear about the scandal?
I have not heard about it until now.
I did.
Not until today, no.
Okay. How would you feel if a company you found to be ethical with your morals was lying?
I would be shocked, betrayed, but I would also understand it because they're trying to do whatever it takes to get money.
I would feel betrayed because some people, have their morals and they buy the product because it goes along with their morals, and if suddenly the morals aren't what they were expressing, then that's just kind of wow, then I'm not buying the right thing.
I would be a little bit upset because when you buy something from a certain company and you support them, then that makes you reflect how the company is. So if I'm supporting a company that's unethical with my morals, it makes me look bad. Or if they're lying, it makes me look bad because I'm supporting them. I've been giving them all my money and support, and they're lying. So it makes you look bad and it makes the company look bad.
How transparent do companies need to be with their consumers?
I think companies need to be transparent enough so that their consumers are satisfied and that they feel that the company that they're buying from is trustworthy and right.
I think that companies need to be transparent enough to where consumers know what is in their product and what they're using and how they test it. I don't think they necessarily need to tell the consumers, oh yeah, we use arsenic in our makeup formula. I just think you need to let people know that they're animal testing stuff.
I think they need to be transparent enough to where they gain the trust, or they share enough information to where that their customers and followers, they trust them a good amount, at least more than half. But I don't think you can share everything because, people are never going to be satisfied. They're always going to want to know everything, and that's not really, you can't expect that because companies aren't supposed to share everything that they do because some of it is private and business.
Okay. Should a company be held responsible for unethical manufacturing even when it's secondhand, such as in Wet n Wild's case?
I think as long as the company isn't doing the unethical practices directly and it's a different company that they might be selling the products to for future marketing, then I think there should be fine, and then the company who actually did the unethical practices should be blamed.
I think the company should be held responsible for unethical manufacturing by a little at fault because it's a whole. So the product is being sold as a whole, and if even in the littlest parts, you still have to let it's still a whole. So yeah,
I think it depends on the situation because if they're directly sending it to that company to test it on the animals, I think they're both to blame because that's just taking the blame. You're not doing it, you're just sending somebody else to do your dirty work. But if they're selling it to a company and the company is doing it on their own free will, then I don't think they should be blamed because they're just doing business.
What measures should companies take to ensure that their makeup is 100% animal cruelty free?
I think making sure that the companies that they do business with in terms of testing their product are not harming whatever they're testing it on, and make sure whatever they're doing to test the product is legal and ethical.
I think that if they need to switch out the company that they're doing it with in order for it to go along with their lines of being animal cruelty free, then they should just do it.
I think that they should sell it to another company and let them handle the testing and everything, because as long as they're not testing it, then they're not being animal cruelty. So as long as they give it to a company and they just sell it, not with that intention, then I think that's fine.
Can we trust them or any of the other options when they say they're using ethical practices?
I think we can trust them as long as the ethics and what they conceive to be ethical, the consumer also believes ethical. And if they think it's not, then they don't deserve their trust.
I think that there's always going to be that little iffy part, of it. But, I guess we can trust them. But still look into it,
I completely agree with what Dustin said, because all that really matters is that you believe what they're saying. As long as you believe it, then I think you should trust it. Because if you believe what they believe, if you guys have the same beliefs, there's no reason for you to think that they're lying. But if there's some things that you don't agree with that they do, then I think there's definitely reasons to be suspicious.
What can we as teens do to stop this?
I think if we find out that they're doing unethical practices, we can boycott the items to an extent so that you're still getting the items that you want and need, but they're losing profits because of their actions.
I agree with Dustin, but I also think that we can also advocate for it, and spread the word and let people know, because maybe there's other people who like animal cruelty free products, but they're still using it because they don't know. So I think you should bring awareness to it and you should advocate.
I also agree that boycotting is most likely the best solution, because the best way to hurt a company or show them that you're upset with them is to not do anything, because that hurts them the most, because they can't make money if you're not doing anything or if you stop using their items. So the more people you get to stop using their items, the more they have to realize, hey, we're doing something wrong. And then once they have that awareness, that's when you start the protest, or you start a website or something that says, we don't like that you're doing this. And then they're either going to fix it because they care about what they think and they want their business to be successful, or they're not going to do anything because they think that they're in a good enough situation where they don't need you.
And that will do it for this episode of SPOTcast. I would like to thank my guests Jahsua Jenkins, Leslie Hernandez, and Dustin Nguyen for being here. For Spot 127, I'm Maria Garcia.